Michael originally, when the priest of the neighbouring two parishes retired, convened a meeting of the leadership of each of the three parishes, which was about 23 people, and raised the question, do we in fact move to amalgamate the three parishes? So it wasn't initiated by the Archdiocese, it was Michael sort of thinking out loud, and the three communities' leaderships together agreed, but we had some fundamentals. We wanted a new model. We did not want a model where a priest ran between three parishes with three finance councils, three pastoral leadership teams, three school councils, all that sort of stuff. That was a setup for wiping out the priest. We wanted to have the three communities listed as a new parish. We wanted to preserve the three communities as individual faith communities with their own charism, their own history and gift, but build into that new community or parish called Trinity eventually, their strengths. We wanted also to have, as far as possible, an organic growth of the elements administratively of each community into one item. For instance, we would have one, ultimately, bank account, but we would acknowledge in the bulletin the contribution of each of those three communities each week. We would generally try and integrate the schools into a vision of which has become the federated schools of Trinity Parish. But we would allow that to happen organically as far as we could, not by decree. When we started, there was a lot of angst. Change always creates anxiety. So we had to meet as a group, the 23 leaders. We met every month over 18 months to work through the issues. It was critical that we communicate with the parishioners, which we could do individually because the parishioners knew who the leadership teams were. There were minutes provided after every meeting. Some of those would be 8 or 10 pages worth. And the people in that leadership group were free to discuss it with anyone, or anyone had issues, they could raise it with the leadership team. So that level of transparency was important. Acknowledging the anxiety of the community was important. Giving people opportunity to discuss things was important. We then proceeded across the 18 months dealing with the issues as they came. We had parish meetings within each of the three parishes as they were then. Firstly, to communicate, get feedback, to elicit the views of the community, and also to identify what each of those communities valued, because their experiences and history and the people who were significant in each of those communities contribute to the collective identity of each of them. And we wanted to value that and actually articulate what that was for each of those communities, which we did across the 18 months. And then out of that we drew up what we saw as the vision and mission of the new entity called Trinity Parish. And that vision and mission, I think you've probably seen the document. That's the document we arrived at. And from then on, it was a case of, well, let's organically allow it to develop, guide it, negotiate the changes as appropriate, and involve as many people as possible. But it was going to involve the laity. It had to involve the lay people, because the future of the parish, as large as that, cannot rest on the shoulders of a priest, or even as we had at those times, 4 priests, including 3 retired. So basically, that's the model we wanted. When we took it to the Archbishop, he accepted that. He renamed, as we asked for Trinity, we were renamed Holy Trinity Parish, along with 330 parishes of Anglican denomination in Australia. And he proclaimed us as the new parish on Trinity Sunday, 18 months after we started the process.